Okay. Good morning, all. As you people know, we are doing the lab program recordings of the web programming lab. Already, I did the two lab program recordings. Okay, for you to study. Okay, for you to go through it. Okay, for before the exams. Okay, we already did this program in the regular labs, but still, for your benefits, okay, we are recording the sessions and uploading in your our YouTube channel. Okay, Spark IT, where you people log in and make use of it. Okay, so already I have done two programs, and today I'm going to do the third program of mine. That is nothing but the fourth program of your lab set. Okay, so that is nothing but to develop and demonstrate an HTML5 file that includes JavaScript. Okay, that uses functions for the following problems. A is nothing but I'm going to give a parameter string, and I should find out the leftmost position of the string. Okay, leftmost position of the string, that to an oval. Okay, and second thing is I'm going to give, okay, a number, and you should reverse the number. Okay, it's not a palindrome concept. Okay, I think already you know the meaning of a palindrome concept. Just I'm going to give a number. Okay, and it should reverse the number. Okay, so let us work on the program. You know what all the tools we require to work on this. It may be like your notepad, it may be exam control panel, where we are going to run in the previous programs. I just showed you how to run the JavaScript program storing on the desktop. Okay, it's a simple HTML file that double click and it is going to run. But this time I'm going to show this fourth program for your change, just for a change, that how to store the program in exam control panel and then run from there. Okay, so let us take the editor, and let us take the editor where I'm going to edit the program. Okay, so before starting this lab, I have done already the practice of the program. So hope no problems will come. Okay, and let's start doing the program. Consider this. Let me explain the concept of the program. So what you need to do is you need to do the program in three phases. Okay, three phases. Okay, let me keep the browser. Okay, three phases you need to do the program. Let me tell you what are those three phases. Okay, one is you need to take the input. Okay, and you already know that in JavaScript how to take the input. We have studied in the basic classes. We need to make use of the prompt. Okay, prompt in order to take the input. Okay, that's the first phase. I need to take the input. Okay, the second phase is, I need to take a string as an input. Okay, and I need to check series of times that whether any vowel is there in my given string as an input. If the vowel is there, I need to find the position of the vowel and I need to display it back. Am I making sense? Okay, this is the second phase of the program. And the third phase of the program is I need to reverse the given number. Again, in the same prompt box, I'm going to enter a number. Okay, if my number is 121, and what is the reverse of the number? 121. Okay, or if my number is 123, then the reverse of the number is 321. That I need to do it in my today's program. So I told you we will execute this program in three phases. First and foremost thing, what you need to do is you need to try to display, check whether the prompt is working correctly. Okay, if your prompt is working correctly, then some part of the problem is solved. Then write a logic to find the vowels, leftmost vowel, because a string may consist of more than one vowel, or a string may consist of no vowel also. You need to display that condition. Okay, and the third thing is take a number, reverse it. Yes. So with this, let us start to write a simple program. Okay, HTML program. HTML, you know how to start the program. Okay, whatever you want, head, inside a head, title. Okay, title, and a simple program. Okay, simple program. Okay, close the title. 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 Okay, close the head. Slash head. Okay. Okay, now I need to start with the script, JavaScript. So I'm going to take script. Okay, script is equal to text slash Java script. Okay, now my scripting is going to begin. Okay, I'm going to store the file. See, save as. Okay, this time I'm showing you how to store the file in XAMPP and run from there. Okay, so go for your C drive. Obviously, your XAMPP will be in C drive. Okay, which you already installed. Okay, so XAMPP. In this, you need to put the Java files in. Sorry, .html files in htdocs. Okay, give the file name. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give it as a try.html. Okay, so now I have stored my program. Okay, so once I have opened a string script, I told you the first and foremost thing what you need to do is you need to use a prompt. Check whether the prompt is working properly. So you need to declare a variable. I'm going to call it as a str. Okay, then I'm going to say prompt, prompt. Okay, and I'm going to say enter enter the value. Okay, enter the value. Okay, so if I want to already predefine some value, I can put it. If not, it's not a problem. So I told you first I need to run the prompt and check. So I'm closing the script. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm going to open the body too. Okay, body for HTML designing purpose. Okay, body. Okay, so I can close the script, I can close the body, I can close the HTML. Okay, so save the program. You people see in your exam the Apache server is running, which is going to fetch me the thing. So I'm going to open the browser. I'm going to fetching the program from exam control panel to the browser. So http http:// localhost. Okay, my program name is try.html. Yeah, I'm getting my prompt box. If my prompt box syntax is correct, it is going to show me a prompt box. Okay, means I'm doing program correctly. So this is the first phase. I have completed my first phase. You should also do the programming like this only in your lab also, in lab external also. Why? Because you can easily catch out the error if you do the programming step by step. Are you understanding? If I just bug up the program or I just buy the program, come right, I may caught some error which I could not able to diagnose it. Am I making sense? So best thing what you need to do is divide the program and do it phase by phase. So now what I am doing is, okay, I'm going to take the value. Okay, I'm displaying the prompt box. That's good. Okay, I'm displaying the prompt box. My part of the program is ready. Now I am ready to take the input, but still I have not written the logic. Okay, the first and foremost logic is I need to check whether the given number is a string, because there are two things I need to do here. I need to enter a number and reverse it. I need to enter a string and I need to check whether there is a vowel in the string. If there is a vowel, what is the leftmost vowel? What is the position of the leftmost vowel? So what I will do is I'm going to start to write the condition. Okay, if is nan, you know what is the meaning of is nan? Okay, is nan of string. Okay, string, which string? The thing string I'm taking as an input. Okay, so if is nan is not a is nan is nothing but it's a function. Okay, it's a function, and the nan full form is not a number. If it is not a number, I'm checking. Then obviously, if it is not a number, it is a string, right? So this is nan function returns the true. If it is going to return true if the value equates to not a number. Okay, is nan is going to return true if the value is equal to not a number, or else it is going to return false. So let me do one thing. So first and foremost thing, I'm converting any given string into uppercase, because if I start writing the condition for both lowercase and uppercase, then it is a problem. So the first and foremost thing is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a function of string handling to uppercase. String is equal to string dot to uppercase. It is going to convert any string in my stored place into uppercase. Okay, let me stop this program. It's rotating. Okay, any given string, whether it may be in uppercase or whether it's maybe a smaller case, small alphabets, anything it is going to be. Why I am doing this? This is not mandatory. Instead of avoiding the writing of the condition for both small a, e, I, o, u and capital A, E, I, O, U, I'm doing is I'm converting the entire string into uppercase. Whatever the user give, even you give small alphabet inputs, with this condition, whatever the input you have given as a string is going to convert into uppercase. For that, I am writing a condition. Okay, so when the function invokes this, it is going to convert any given string into uppercase. Okay, now let us, I need to check the string one by one. So for checking the string one by one, I need a loop. Okay, so I'm going to make use of a for loop. For loop, it's very simple. Okay, what I'm going to do is for, okay, okay, for variable I is equal to 0. I is less than string length. For example, consider the string length is 3. Then it is going to check for a condition 0, 1, 2. If the string length is 4, it is going to check for a condition 0, 1, 2, 3. And you know what is the meaning of str.length? It's a string handling function which is going to find the length of the string which you are entering as an input. Okay, so once I have taken this, now I need to read the index of the string. Okay, so I'm having again a string function called as char at of I. Okay, char at of I. The work of char at of I is to return the index. For example, okay, the work of char at I is to return the index. So I'm and it's specified index. It's going to return the character with its specified index. Always it is going to return the first character with the index 0. Am I making sense? Whenever it is going to hold a character in it, it returns the position of that character to 0, index position of the character to 0. Then the second character's position will be 1 and the third character position will be 2. Like this. For that reason, I am using a string function called as char at I, which returns character of a specified index in a string. The first character's index value will be always 0. The second character's index value will be 1. Like this, it's keep on repeating. Now let us put me a condition. How to put a condition? If chr is equal to a, or chr is equal to a e, chr is equal to a I to e I to, okay, vowels a e I o u. If I caught any one of the vowel, suddenly I need to come out of the program. For that, what I need to use? Your C programming logic, basic logic, break. So let me write that condition. Instead of writing, I'm just taking the condition which I have explained. Don't worry. Okay, don't bother also. Yeah. If char is equal to a, okay, why I am taking capital letters? I have converted any given string by using two uppercase function to uppercase. So I'm checking only the condition for uppercase. Okay, so a, e, I, o, u. Any one of the vowel you are going to encounter, you have to stop the process and come out of the loop. Right? So this is what you need to do it. Okay, once I have done this, now I'm checking if that particular index I is holding a vowel, then obviously it's a vowel. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the if okay 0, if I is at the condition between the string length. Okay, the position of the leftmost vowel is I plus 1. Okay, it starts from 0 plus 1. Okay, so I have opened the flower bracket here. For is closed and if is closed. Okay, so I'm running the second phase of my program to check to find the leftmost position of the vowel. I told you need to do the program in 3 phases. The first phase is you need to display the prompt and see whether it is working correctly. Yeah, I have done that. Now the second phase is I am writing a logic to find the leftmost position of the oval, which I did some alterations, like I converted every string into an uppercase. Very good. Then what I did is then I have taken, okay, I'm taking the string length and matching that with a oval. If the oval is present, I'm going to break out of the program, and then I'm going to display that position of the oval. Okay, so let me save this program and run the program. This program is not completed yet. Okay, still I'm in the second phase of the program. One more phase yet to do. Okay, so I'm showing you step by step. You should also do the same thing in your lab exam, which is going to help you out. Okay, try.html. Okay, suppose I'm going to enter Asif. Okay, the leftmost position is A. Okay, the leftmost position is A. A is a oval, so it is 0 plus 1, 1. Right. So if there is a no oval, I need to check that also. A, E, I, O, U. I'm going to give X, Y, Z. Okay, no oval found in the entire string. Right. So this completed my second part of the program. Now I need to go for the third part of the program. If it is not a number, okay, if it is not a number, then it's a string, then it is going to become true and going to enter into if part. If it is a number, then I should go for else part. That is where I need to write the logic of reversing a number, right? I need to declare the variables. You know, already you have studied in your basic C programming lab to palindrome reverse. The same logic I applied. Actually, it's not mandatory that the reverse should be a palindrome. It's just a reversing of a number, but the same logic is applicable. So let me declare the variables. Okay, let me declare the variables var number and remainder. Okay, var obviously num is a variable, reverse will be 0 initially, and remainder is a one more variable. Okay, now so then I need to write the logic. Okay, but what I am doing is, since I am taking a string, I need to convert into an integer. So I'm using parse int, which is going to convert any given string into an integer. Okay, num is equal to parse int of string. Okay, this string which I am taking as an input in the prompt. Okay, if obviously I'm going to give the number, then only it is going to come into this logic part, but still I am converting. Okay, now I'm going to write the logic. You know already what's the logic. While num is not equal to 0 or greater than 0, it's left to you. Okay, while num is not equal to 0 or greater than 0, you know they need to write remainder is equal to rem is equal to, okay, num mod 10. Okay, I'm going to explain you how it is going to work. Okay, then I need to find out the reverse, which is always equal to reverse into 10 plus, okay, 10 plus, okay, remainder, right? So then I need to divide the number by 10. It's a very simple logic which you keep on studying from your first year C programming. First year C program, it's a program of your lab set. Do you remember this? It's a program of your lab set. So that's how I have written. Now I'm printing the reverse of the given number into alert box. You know, one more way of displaying the output in your JavaScript is alert box. But again, I need to convert a given into integer. So I'm using parse int. Any value, if I'm getting floating value, means I am going to convert that floating value into integer. Yeah, I may get floating value to 123 divided by 10 means obviously I get floating value. So I'm converting that into an integer value. So passing. What you are doing in C programming, you are declaring the variable in the int. So the float part is neglected. But here it's a JavaScript. It is going to consider the floating part. So what I am going to do is I am converting the given integer into parse int. Okay, so I have converted. Okay, I have converted. Now the another part of the program is ready. Let me explain you the logic. Okay, so if I'm going to take the number 1 2 1 2 3, okay, 1 2 3, what is going to happen? Remainder is equal to 1 2 3 mod 10. It is going to return remainder 3. Here it is going to return remainder 3. Okay, then what happens? Reverse is 0. 0 into 10 is 0 plus remainder is 3. Then reverse is going to become 3. Okay, now again the number is, what is the number? 1 2 3 divided by 10. It is going to return 12.3. Since it is a integer, 0.3 is neglected and 12 is taken. Repeat the sentence. 12 is not equal to 0, condition is true. 12 mod 10, I'm going to get 2. Okay, now 3 is already there in the reverse. Now what I can say, 3 into 10 plus remainder 30 plus, what's the remainder? What's the remainder? 30 plus 2, 32. Now 2 also come to the reverse. Okay, 3, 2. Then what happens again? Number 12 divided by 10. Okay, 12 divided by 10. I'm going to return 1.2 something comes 1. Right. Again, 1 is not equal to 0. Condition is true. In 1 mod 10 is 1. Okay. Then again 3, 2, 1. 1 is going to come to the reverse. Okay. Then again it is going to become 0. 0 is not equal to 0. Condition is false. And it is going to come out of the loop. It's a simple logic which you people are keep on studying from your first year C programming. The same logic we are applying here to reverse the number, and that we are displaying in an alert box. Either I can use document.write or alert, in JavaScript to display it, but here I'm using an alert box. So I'm going to save the number and I'm going to run the program. Refresh. No. Okay, there is something problem. Not a problem. We are going to save the program. We are going to open the browser. Is my control running? Apache is running. Yeah, it's running. So write http colon, okay, http colon / localhost and try.html. There is some problem in my program. Else I have open, while I have open. Yeah, else I have open, while I have open. Okay, and alert I have not closed. Else part is closed now. Okay, so refresh. No. Okay, not a problem. I'm going to check for errors. See, the very problem oriented thing here is that the very important problem oriented thing is that, okay, you cannot it is not going to display the error like your C programming, in which line the error is. Okay, so you use some good sort of editors for JavaScript and all. It's quite difficult. Okay, and let us run the program. http colon / localhost try.html. No. Okay, where I have done the mistake, let me check. Where num reminder percent. Okay, see here, there will be a error. Okay, reverse of a string. I'm concatenating in that box. Okay, I feel now it should run. Yeah, so I'm going to give 1, 2, 3. Okay, oh sorry, it went very fast. 1, 2, 3. The reverse is 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now I'm going to complete program is done. Now I'm going to check for oval also. Asif, its leftmost position. Okay, now I'm going to give XYZ where it doesn't consist of oval, no oval found in enter string. Now I'm going to give any number 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, any number 1, 3, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. The reverse is done. Okay, so this is all about your fourth program, which I have recorded for you people. Whenever you are coming for the lab, just see my video, like it, okay, share it, so that you people can learn. Okay, it's just a part of an LMS, okay, which we are doing the videos for you. Even we have done the program execution in the lab also, okay, online lab, but still for your benefits, we are recording the videos. Make use of it. Okay, any doubt, you people leave a message in the chat box or call me, or any problem, or you couldn't able to understand any part of the program, just talk to me. Okay, thank you, see you.